Conversation between comrades about to start right about now. Just a second, y'all. We get everything wrapped already. If y'all in here tuning in, make sure y'all drop a like, drop a comment. Let us know who you are so we can converse with you. But we're about to get this thing started right about now, y'all.
Got conversations about life, got conversations about death, got conversations about building a nation, about gaining knowledge of self. Not here to deceive ya, we'll make you a believer. Come build a nation with conversation, with prophecy and Atiba. Conversations between comrades.
And this is Conversations Between Comrades, the show that we have conversation with our comrade. And of course, you probably noticed again, I'm still without my my brother in the struggle, comrade Atiba. He still has not secured the resources he needs to be on the show again. But I did talk to him a couple of days ago, and he said that he's in good spirit. He's about to secure what he needs, and before you know it, he's gonna be back on the program, and we're gonna be doing the thing like we always have. I want to give a big shout out to Brother Bomani for allowing me to be on his show last night. George Jackson Radio University had a great time with the brother. They do outstanding work over there. If you want further enlightenment of your political education and everything else that we trying to do here, check out that brother's show, man. It's a good brother. We have a good time. We do a lot of good things over there. Buffini, how you doing, brother? I see you out there, free to land to you also, man. Me and this brother, we about to set the world on fire. We'll be working on this new project. We ain't gonna tell y'all what it is yet. You know what I'm saying? But when we get together and get this thing right, man, it's gonna be next level type thing. You know what I'm saying? Trust me. But good to see you checking in. Anybody out there, if y'all know anybody who would benefit or who would like to join in on these type of conversations, who would benefit from these type of conversations, just tag them in. And all you got to do is just write their name in the comments, and it'll go to them. And, we can join, we can grow this thing, and we can get the word out, and we can spread, because what we're ultimately trying to do is we're trying to engage with collective nation buildings. We're trying to change the collective reality that our people deal with and suffer from, and we got to do that together. So, if you out there listening to this, first, drop a comment. Let us know you out there, so we'll know who you are, so we can properly converse with you, and then share this with a friend. Let everybody know what time it is, man. I appreciate you doing it, brother. But no doubt. So, what we got going on today? We got a lot going on. I mean, by special request, this particular topic was requested. I had people, a couple of individuals who said, man, we need to do something about health, or do a show about how we eat and the foods that are like slowly poisoning us. So I was like, you know what? Why not? You know what I'm saying? It seemed like a pretty good time to do that. And first of all, I want to give a big shout out to my brother Abdul Shakur, who was on the show last week. He came down and he dropped a whole lot of knowledge. So I appreciate that. And if you didn't get an opportunity to see that show, you can really revisit all of our programs on the NABA network. So, all you got to do, if you're not familiar with that, do a search keyword NABA, N.A.B.A. And it'll go right to it. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me. But let's get into this thing. The topic: are we being killed? Are we being murdered? Are we being slowly poisoned by the food that we eat? And I know a lot of y'all already know the answer, because when I put it out, I had a lot of response. A lot of people was like, hell yeah, we doing it. This food is destroying us. It's destructive. And so, the answer would be yes. Unfortunately, in America, the food quality, as it refers to the nutritional value of the food, is very, very low quality. That's just real. What's up, Andrea? Um, she said, "Yeah, yes, most definitely. Yeah, agreed. You know, but yeah, the food quality is extremely low quality, low in nutritional value, and one of the main reasons for that, because even though we live in this rich, powerful nation with an abundance of resources, the unfortunate thing is when you're living in a capitalist society, everything is reduced to a commodity. The number one goal of a capitalist society is to make as much money off everything for just a small class of people. And that means even if you have to exploit the masses, even if you have to do something that is detrimental to the masses, it does not matter. So just about everything in a capitalist society will ultimately end up being corrupt. And this includes the food industry. Because like right now, the food that we eat has such low nutritional value that, and the reason for that is because you can make more money if you put chemicals in the food that allow them to grow bigger and faster. If you pump the animals that will be used for meat consumption, you pump them full of steroids, they grow bigger, they grow faster. And in many cases, you know, they don't even just have animals growing naturally. We have situations where they mass produce animals. You get like a chicken assembly line where you birth a baby chicken and they stick a tube of steroids down their throat and it's pumped full of steroids through their whole life, which is that's kind of inhumane, honestly. You know what I'm saying? So you know we're in a situation under this capitalist system that produces low quality food. It has food that is filled with chemicals and additives and artificial flavors and GMOs, genetically modified. What's it called? Genetically modified. You know what I'm talking about. It's escaping me now. But all of these unnatural foods that we consume more processed foods than ever, than you know any other nation, just about. You know, I'm sure. And all of these things lead to an explosion of heart disease, hypertension, diabetes, high blood pressure, cancer, and all type of diseases. It causes you to go to the medical industry. And the medical industry, understand, is also a part of this capitalist system. And like I said, everything under capitalism ultimately is used to exploit the masses in order to make a maximum amount of profit, even if that means at the detriment of the people. So once you contract one of these diseases and you go to the doctor, first and foremost, it's going to be a while before most doctors, but I can't even say most because I don't even just deal with doctors like that, you know, nowadays. But I know when I did, before they tell you, oh, you need to stop what you eat, you had to already get sick. You know, your blood pressure had to already be, you know, too high, and you had to deal with it. And they said, well, you know what, you probably need to stop eating this, that, and that. Probably need to clean up your diet. You know, you get diabetes. Well, you know what? You probably need to eat a certain way. This will help you out. You know, I have family members who got all of that, you know, all of, you know, cancer, diabetes, all of that. My mother suffered with it a lot. And I would always tell her, I was like, yeah, the doctor tell you this after you get sick, but just understanding just, you know, logic. would it be a good idea for you to maybe change your diet before you get sick? What's the saying? Ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. In other words, if you prevent something, then it's a lot easier to deal with it. If you prevent it, then after it actually goes haywire. You know what I'm saying? Y'all feel me on that? But yeah, everybody out there, I want to thank everybody for joining us with this conversation between comrades. As I told y'all, T-Ba's still not on the show, but he's working diligently in securing the resources he needs to get back on the show. And he said, I talked to him the other day, he'll be back soon. So if y'all, one thing he did tell me, he said that every time he hears somebody who, you know, when he gets an opportunity to check the shows out and he sees somebody who ask about him, say he missed them, say he make him feel real good. So, you know, drop a comment for T-Ba, man. Hit that like button for T-Ba like right now. So when he see this, or whenever he get the opportunity to, you know what I'm saying, you can lift his spirits up. Because sometimes when you locked in the belly of the beast, you can get real depressed and you can fall into dark spaces. Fortunately, our comrade, he's not there. You know what I'm saying? His spirits were very high and he was very positive and upbeat about everything. We had a great conversation. I mean, I wish we could have shared it with you, but yeah, he should be back real soon. So, you know, drop a comment for him, hit that like button for him so he'll know, you know, we out there still thinking about him, and, you know, and we can't wait to see him back. Because when we get back, man, it's going to be on, because I'm missing my comrade. I ain't going to lie. I'm doing my best to hold it down, y'all. But yeah, I miss my comrade, man. It ain't the same without it. It's just not. But anyway, what was I talking about? Talking about this good old food that we're eating, this causing this epidemic of cancer, hypertension, high blood pressure. And like I told you, you know, all of this stuff go all through my family. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like the guy who's always saying, well, you know what, y'all, we don't have to let our health go down. If we just take control over the things that we can take control of, we can change our whole reality. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they go to the doctor, and I remember in my uncle's hospital bed, you know, when he was diagnosed with cancer. Rest in peace, Uncle Hubbard Lee. Miss you. But yeah, when he was diagnosed and the whole family was over, all my cousins and whatnot, uncles, aunts. Well, I mean, wasn't even no uncles. I ain't got no uncles left, I don't think. My aunts and cousin, we was all together and we were talking. And I remember them saying that how the doctors were telling them how what the type of diet that they've been eating is causing the sickness. And my family members, my aunt specifically, rest in peace, Aunt Madeline, she said, you know, we didn't know. This is the way we've been eating all our lives. We didn't know that it was slowly killing us. You know, had we known, you know, we would have done something about it. You know, I wanted to say, hell, I've been trying to tell you all the time, but you know how that is. Sometimes you got to get validated by some kind of person that is in charge, who's supposed to know better before, you know, you take certain things serious. So yeah, I mean, when you think about that, you think about the diet that we have, especially Black people in America. Think about the evolution of our diet here in America, how it got to the point of where we eat, you know, because really many of us still have a slave diet. I'm gonna say that again. Many of us still have a slave diet. A diet that was developed on the slave plantation for the purpose of survival. And that's why it's really important for us to do critical analysis of objective reality, concrete analysis of the concrete conditions. So we understand exactly what are the conditions now. Because a lot of times we develop certain habits and certain processes that allowed us to survive when we were under a certain situation in certain conditions. And then the conditions change but we don't change the habits. We don't change the processes in which we're going through. And when the conditions were one way, those things helped us survive. But when the conditions change, those same habits and processes that we developed in that different situation is now detrimental and is killing us. And that's what's going on with our diet. You know, back in on the slave plantation, we used to have to do something called eating low on the hog. That's a term people used to call a phrase, eating low on the hog. And basically that means that the slave master, the individuals who lived in the big house, when they cooked the hog, they ate high off the hog. So they ate the ham, the bacon, the pork chops, all of those things that would be considered, you know, good, which personally, you know, I don't eat pork, I don't eat meat at all, but definitely not hog. So I don't think none of it good, but they would eat the parts that they would consider to be, you know, the high quality parts of the hog. And the enslaved Africans, our ancestors, had to make do with whatever was left, whatever they didn't want. You know, the pig feet, the pig ear, the pig intestines, the pig balls, you know. And like our ancestors always do, we took that and we flipped it and we made it delicious. We made delicacies out of things people would call slop. Out of the things that people threw away. That's just part of the genius of our ancestors, to have the ability to make something out of nothing. And we survived doing that. So no knock on our ancestors, because that just shows the resiliency of our people to be able to survive in a very desperate, terrible situation. So, you know, you don't condemn them or look down on them for doing that. You know, you raise them up. But we're no longer under the chains of chattel slavery. Now, you can make the argument we're still under mental slavery. Are we still under a slave system that there's been transferred from ownership from an individual to ownership of the state? We can make that argument. But this whole chattel slavery thing, nah, we ain't bound to that no more. But unfortunately, many of us still have that diet that evolved on the slave plantation. And it is devastating to us. It is terrible for us. It is killing us. Let me go to some of these comments. Brother Obafemi, how you doing, brother? The great ancestors, Leolia, is that what they say? Yes. Africa, I'm sorry, I can't see good, said that the food was the forgotten revolution for our people. Whoever controls the appetite controls you. That's pretty heavy words. Those are pretty heavy words. That's true. That's true. That's true. And one of the first methods of gaining discipline is to control your diet. You know, that's why, you know, certain organizations like the Nation of Islam, they give you a strict diet, because if you can control your diet, then you can control anything. You know, that's because it takes discipline to do that. You know, because it ain't nothing to say, okay, you don't eat pork chop, don't eat pork. Well, you know, if ain't nobody looking, you know. So if you can control your diet, then, you know, you can control anything. So appreciate that comment, brother. But yeah, like I said, you know, we live in a situation in America where we have a very low quality of food, and it causes disease and death at an unbelievable rate. Where once we get these diseases, we go to the medical industry, which is also influenced by a system of capitalism, which exploits the people and exploits the situation. I mean, think about this. The medical industry benefits from you being sick. The medical industry benefits from you being sick. Seems like a contradiction, but they do. If everybody was well, if they cured everything, then the medical industry will lose money. You know, saying like a conflict of interest, but I mean that's just the nature of it. You know, like police benefit from it being a high crime rate. You know, but once you go to these doctors, too many times, they just give you some kind of medication. I know, like, man, it had to been about 20 years ago. The last time that I like seriously went to the doctor just cause, you know, I had faith in doctors. But it was in the middle of the summer, and I was experiencing some headaches and some a little dizziness. Went to the doctor to say, "Oh, you doing this? Okay, okay. Well, I'm gonna prescribe these right here. Take this medication, see how it does." Didn't run any tests, no blood work, no nothing. Just heard I had a headache and some dizziness and gave me some medication. And the interesting thing, when I looked at the medication, I saw a poster with that same medication on the wall. You know, I was thinking, I was like, hold on, wait a minute. It's a poster of this medication that this doctor is prescribing me. Is this doctor working for this drug company that is producing this medication? Is this doctor getting a medical a kickback, some money under the table for every prescription she writes? You know, I was like, wow, man, that you know, it didn't sit right with me. But I was like, okay. So I got the medication, I read it. Now, this is for a headache and dizziness. Now, the side effects for this medication was blurred vision and some drowsiness. So in order to get rid of my headache and my dizziness, I had to get real sleepy and I wouldn't be able to see. You know, which off top, I was like, man, that don't even really make any sense right there. But hell, I tried it. I took one dose of it and I was incapacitated. I was on the couch. I couldn't move. I couldn't see. Didn't know what in the world was going on. I was confused. I was like, man, what the hell? I was much better off before I took this medication. At that point, I was like, okay, let me do some research. Plain and simple research. It's hot outside. It's in the middle of summer. I work outside. Have I been drinking enough water? I don't think so. Let me increase my intake of water. Let me clean up all of my diet. You know what I'm saying? And I did that, and everything bounced back, and I was just good. And from that point on, that's when I started my health journey. And I slowly began to clean up my diet. So ultimately, I got rid of all the dairy, all the milk, all the, you know, those type of things. Got rid of the meats. And now I'm almost 50 years old. I ain't got no health problems. I'm in very good shape. You know what I'm saying? Don't believe me? Check my Facebook page. You know. Anyway, I sound like I'm being arrogant now, but no. You know what I'm saying? When you take control over your diet, take control over your life, a lot of things change. You know what I'm saying? When you don't simply buy into everything that you've been told, when you have a healthy amount of skepticism, and that's really important to understand when I say a healthy amount of skepticism, because some people confuse that with I don't believe nothing they say. I don't believe nothing they say. In order to have a healthy amount of skepticism, that means you need to have the ability to do something called a critical analysis. In other words, you need to be able to look at some information, analyze it, do critical analysis of it, and determine, like, okay, is this good information? Is it bad information? Is it true? What are the contradictions of it? What, doesn't add up? You need to have the ability to do that. And a lot of times we're just intellectually lazy. And instead of trying to actually do our due diligence and trying to figure out exactly what's what we end up doing is We just hear something that we like and we agree with it, and you hear something that you don't like and we just disagree with it without analyzing the information. So we should have a healthy skepticism of everything, but that skepticism must always follow research, study, analysis. We can't just be intellectually lazy and just hear something, oh, I like that, so I believe it. I don't like that, I don't believe it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I hate when people do that. That's the easiest way to be deceived. That's the easiest way to be misled, having that level of intellectual laziness. So we got to do better on that. But when I say that, is we can't just digest everything that we're told. You know, we have to do critical analysis on our information. And the American diet is terrible. The American diet, don't take my word for it, do your own research of it. You know, I'm gonna go to some comments real quick. I see some people checking in. My people checking in. Let me see. First of all, what's up, Atiba? Keep your head up. Definitely. Like I said, y'all give Atiba some love. He'll be back shortly. He's trying to get some things together. So thank you, Andrea. Let me see. You said there's a documentary that is not for everybody, but is called Eating Our Way to Extinction. Ooh, but is some awareness. Eating Our Way to Extinction. That's an interesting documentary. I've seen a few documentaries on the poor food quality and how it's leading us to all type of disease, especially here in America. Let me see. Madam President Sama free land, comrade, free land to you, definitely. Andrea, that's big pharma hustling you. They are definitely hustlers. The pharmaceutical industry definitely hustles. They benefit from us being sick. They benefit from us being sick. And the thing about it, there are a lot of things that we can clear up in our lives by simply clearing up our diet. There are a lot of things that we can clear up by using natural things, using things that are, really found in nature. The thing about it is you can't patent something that is natural. So that means you can't really make that money off of it. So therefore, the powers that be say, oh, no, this is not a cure. You don't need to take no vitamin C. You don't need to be making sure your vitamin D level's up. You need to take this medication. You need to take these pills. You need to take this vaccine. You need to take, whatever the case may be. Hold on a second. What's up? But like I said, where was I? Yeah, big pharma benefits from us being sick. They make money off of us being sick. That's why we have to get rid of this economic system that is based on the exploitation of man by man. Every industry, every system within capitalism ultimately gets corrupt. That is its nature, because the better you are at corruption, the better you are at capitalism. The better you are at producing a car that's going to break down every so often, so you got to go get another one, the more money you can bring in. The first light bulb that was ever created still works today. It still works today. It's in, I think, that museum in Britain. It still works. So that just means we have the capability. As human beings, we have the capability of creating things that are quality, things that can last damn near forever. I mean, they shoot satellites up in space. You telling me you can't build a car that won't break down in the next 5 years? Of course we can. But the problem is, when you do that, the money stops. The money stops. That's why like I said, every institution, every system, every corporation ultimately gets corrupt under this system of exploitation. That's why, like I always say, if you want a better world, a world that is based on uplifting the human condition to its highest level of potential, our highest potential, then we got to get rid of this economic system. We have to. Let me see what else. But Daniel, how you doing? Good to see you, Queen. If you want to understand imperialism, look down at your. I'm gonna say that again. That was from Thomas Sankara. If you want to understand imperialism, look down at your plate. Damn. There's a hard comment right there. Daniel says, yes, basically you talk to Atiba. You are in our thoughts, comrade. And when I talk to Atiba or Danya, he specifically mentioned you because he said that when he got on, he always saw comments from you asking about them, saying you missed them, and that really meant the world or means the world to him. So he wanted me to personally thank you. You know, he wanted me to personally thank you. Really, he said, man, drive up to Chicago or wherever that queen is and give her a big old kiss for me. No, I'm just playing. He didn't tell me to do all that. But no, he did say thank you, and he appreciates your words. Means a lot to him. It's you never really know, how your words affect people, how the little things we do have a major impact on somebody's lives. So thank you, Adanya. You said pharmaceutical companies pay out medical institutions, universities receive a lot of their funding from Pfizer, etc. That's extremely correct. You are right on the money with that. And I mean, with the whole, when you look at Pfizer and the whole vaccine and the politics behind that, it's really sickening. It is sickening. All of the politics that went behind that vaccine. Just first of all, the whole fact that they were trying to force everybody to get the vaccine. And for the record, in New York City, there was a lawsuit against everybody who discriminated against people who didn't get the vaccine. So if you were in New York and you got fired from your job or whatever, they have to hire you, and they have to pay you back pay for all the time that you missed. That was just recently ruled because they said what they were doing was unconstitutional and discriminatory. I mean, if you just think about it, and I ain't gonna get deep into the vaccine. I'm not gonna get deep into that. But if you just look at the information that is out in the mainstream, we ain't got to go deep to no conspiracy and stuff like that. Just look at the information that is available through in the mainstream media. Number one, COVID-19 was deadly to a specific population. Those are individuals who were overweight, elderly, and had comorbidity. That means that you had other sicknesses that will compromise your immune system. These are the individuals who are primarily dying from COVID, and they really had a hard time dealing with it. The rest of us pretty much caught it. Some people had a hard time with it. Some people didn't. Some people didn't even know you had it. But the rest of us pretty much caught it, recovered, and then developed a natural immunity to the thing that was stronger than the actual vaccine. That's proven by science. But these very same people who went around talking about follow the science, ignored all of that and just said everybody got to take it, and if you don't take it, you can't go. You can't go to restaurants. You can't go to events. You can't do anything. You can't work. You can't do all of these type of things. And people like saying, well, damn. First and foremost, the vaccine don't even stop you from catching it. It doesn't stop you from spreading it. So basically, by not taking the vaccine, the only person that I could possibly be putting at risk is myself. So why can't I do all this other thing? Why would I have to lose my job if I'm only putting myself at risk? In reality is, if you understand your vulnerability, then you really ain't even putting yourself at risk. But they say, no, 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 everybody got to take it. Everybody got to take it. And you're evil and you're messing up the world if you don't. And they said, well, what about me? I just had the virus. I just had COVID-19. I recovered from it. I've developed an immunity to it. You can go test me out. You can check my blood. I will have the antibodies in it. And the antibodies will be stronger than that of the vaccine. What about me? Why I gotta take it? When the science says even once you had the virus, you have the strongest level of immunity that you can get from this. Even having the virus and then taking the vaccine after it doesn't even really boost your immunity. So why in the world would you try to force me to have it? And they act like they didn't even hear that part. All they say is everybody got to take it. Everybody got to take it. That's why people like skeptical of it. Like, hold on, man, what's this really about? What's this really about? See, what we understand, about that, and I'm not even trying to put down the vaccine. If you took the vaccine, cool. Because personally, I think that whether or not you took the vaccine is a personal decision that you should make based on your personal situation. That's a medical decision that an individual should make based on their individual situation. If you're a healthy young person and you ain't in one of those vulnerable population and you don't want to take the vaccine, damn it, don't take it. That's actually a logical choice. It makes sense because the only thing they claim the vaccine does is it prevents you from getting really sick. Well, if you're not in a vulnerable population, chances are you're not really going to get sick anyway. But anyway, I know, we weren't here to talk about the vaccine. But I'm just saying, it's like when you see the contradictions in like the Pfizer, in the government, in how they did the vaccine, is real. It's disturbing. And I don't, and first of all, I'm not making light of COVID. I'm not. COVID was real shit. It's a lot of people who died with COVID. That's for real. It's a lot of people who died. Then that's why I say you got to do a critical analysis. Because when COVID first hit, you got people saying all kind of stuff. All kind of stupid stuff that's not based or founded in reality, based in facts. You had people say, COVID's not real. I don't believe it's real. COVID was created by 5G satellites or whatever, towers. COVID don't affect black people because we have melanin. All type of stuff, none of them found based in any kind of factual information. People just saying stuff. And like I said before, about having a healthy amount of skepticism. That skepticism must be accompanied with a critical analysis, with research, with actual facts, not just, damn, that sounds good, I believe that. Because we was believing a whole lot of stupid stuff. That's why I'm glad I do podcasts, because when that was going on, you can go back to my podcast and you can hear what I was saying. When as soon as they said, well, black people can't get it because we got melanin, I was like, hold on. There ain't no fact that would even, point to that. The reality is being that our population is vulnerable to every damn thing because we don't control any of the industry or institutions in our own community. Being that the reality, and we are some of the most unhealthy people, and we have a diet that breeds disease, then there's a pretty good opportunity that once it hits our community, it affects us worse than it does anybody. And I'll be damned if that ain't what happened. I know people who damn near their whole family got wiped out. So I am not, by no means, trying to say COVID wasn't real or downplay what COVID was. I am saying if we did a critical analysis, we could have came out a lot better. If we actually examined the information properly and said, well, looked at this stuff and say, okay, you know what? No real reason for everybody to just push the panic button and go crazy. because most of us, if we get it, it's going to be okay. But there is a segment of our population that is vulnerable. And actually, being our population as it is, that we are have a lot of these diseases, a lot of these diabetes and these other things, then we might need to take extra precaution to make sure that auntie, that grandma, that, you know, they okay. You know what I'm saying? We need to consider, you know, measures to make sure the people who are within that vulnerable population is okay. Instead of just going, oh, I don't believe it's real. I don't believe it's real. Or on the other case, everybody needs to take a vaccine or you're all gonna die. You know what I'm saying? Both of those responses are no good. Because one, you deny, you know, common facts. Well, both of them denies common facts. Both sides of that equation deny facts. But one side downplays the seriousness of something that there are individuals who are very vulnerable of. Instead of looking out for those individuals, you just downplay it and be like, it ain't real, it's just the government, they just lying and all this type of stuff. Until auntie dropped dead, died by herself in a hospital, can't breathe. Then you looking stupid. Then it's the other hand, other case, other scenario, who just buying into everything and neither one of them doing research. The other end of the spectrum is saying, oh, you didn't get the vaccine, you fucking it up for everybody. And what happens is when the people in power try to push the vaccine on everybody, when it's clear based on the science that the vaccine, that everybody don't need the vaccine. That's clear by the science. And the people who say follow the science, denying the science. But when they do that, it creates a bigger skepticism of it. And people like, man, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. And it may be people who could actually benefit from it. It could be people who are in a vulnerable population. You could be like, you know what? It might benefit me to protect myself, you know, with this. But like I said, you know, that has to be your personal decision. I know I just kind of went way off on a tangent because you brung up Pfizer and you hit a sore spot, Adanya. But thank you for that. You see, and then you said skepticism is using discretion. Yeah. Let me see. That's an emotional revisionism. I can't remember what we were talking about. You know what? This is a good comment right here. Said, even vegan foods are heavily processed. We are targeted through heavy mass marketing propaganda. Food deserts exist in the urban hoods. No access to whole foods and land to grow it. Words like organic mean little. It's a selling tool. You're absolutely right about that. You are absolutely right about that. And that is the manifestation of capitalism. Period. Capitalism. First of all, when you say organic, it's just a selling point, or whatever it is, how you put it. The truth of the matter is, I mean, the fact that we even use the term organic is ridiculous. Do you understand how crazy that is? Think about, what does organic actually mean? What does organic actually mean? I think the definition says something like deriving from a live source. You know, basically it means something that is natural. Some ain't temporary. Isn't all food supposed to be natural? Isn't that what food is supposed to be? Natural? All food is supposed to be organic. That's why it's food. The reality is that natural food how is now a special commodity. It's a special item that you got to have a special section of the store in order to get. Hey, we have an organic section. Well, what the hell is all this other stuff? We eating inorganic food? Like, really? Like, what is the fact that there is a section of food called organic, and it's you pointed out, Adonia, it ain't even organic. Like you say, we have limited access to whole food. That's another one of those terms. This ridiculous that it even exists. Whole food. Why do we got to call our food whole? Why is there a specific type of food called whole food? Isn't all of our food supposed to be whole food? See, the reality is, under this capitalistic system, they're putting so many pesticides and chemicals and hormones and all of these things into the food in order to make it grow bigger, better, make it shinier. They spray apples with plastic in order to make it glow and so it can be more desirable looking, even though that makes it a whole lot unhealthy. Because they do so much of this unnatural things and process our food heavily. Even the food they claim is healthy for you, they heavily process it so much that it's no longer even natural. It's no longer, you can't even call it a whole food. It ain't even real food. And when we eat all of this processed, heavily chemical processed food, our immune system is looking at it like, hold on, this ain't even supposed to be there. Our immune system look at the food we eat almost like it's a virus. And our immune system is like, damn, we need to attack this shit. And the food that we eat is overworking our immune system. So now when you have that cancer cell that develop, your immune system too busy trying to attack the damn food you eat. And that cancer just kind of grow and spreads and spreads and spreads, and then boom, there it is. So you made some extremely good points. Food deserts exist in urban hoods. That is so correctly. When you live in Black communities, it is so difficult to get access to healthy food. First of all, we're not taught to eat healthy. It's not part of our curriculum. But just getting access to healthy food, the type of things that they sell in the so-called hood, man, you can go to a Walgreens in the hood, and they got Black and Mild cigars for sale. And I'm like, huh? When they start doing that at Walgreens? I never see that in the suburbs. It look like they got a section of liquor in Walgreens in the hood. Like, when they do that? But I'm gonna come back to that comment because that's an extremely insightful comment. Thank you. Madam President, water and food with a lot of water is in it is key. Most disease is a byproduct of dehydration. That's an excellent point. An excellent point. Hydration, also oxidation. Having taking the type of thing that provides oxygen into your bloodstream. All of these things help get rid of disease. Let me see. Andrea, I had an appointment with a dietitian yesterday, and she told me that places like McDonald's use fetus cells from aborted fetuses for flavor. It was horrible. Glad I don't eat at McDonald's. Yeah, but that's terrible. I mean, that's disgusting. That is disgusting. Danya said yes, and once a year between each is that elder. Our family does a watermelon fast. That's a great fasting is a great health tool. That's a great thing that we use. That's a great tool for health. period. You know what I'm saying? Give the body a chance to kind of cleanse itself. So yeah, that's something I definitely do. A lot of times I often go on just raw food, just eat all raw food, and sometimes the juice fast, done the watermelon fast. Uh, but yeah, but often I'll just go, just strictly raw foods for like a month or however. I do a lot of raw food simply because I'm not good at cooking. So it's my excuse to be like, be healthy, but really I just don't know how to cook that good. So um I eat a lot of raw foods, eat a lot of salads. I find out some new thing that's healthy for you. I'm like, can I put it in a salad? Okay, cool. Word. There we go. So yeah, so a lot of times I'm super duper healthy because I don't know how to cook that well. You said you said Frankenstein food. Yeah, definitely. Damn, having fetuses for flavor. But that's how capitalism works. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter. You're gonna eat a dead. You're eating a dead fetus. It make that food taste good. That's why people like McDonald's fries so much, because it got dead fetuses in it. See, Obafini said, "What's crazy is most of the food in our grocery stores have traveled at least 1,500 miles to get to us. Why don't the land we live on feed us directly? Capitalism." See, there you go, bro. I told you, we have the most informed, most intelligent people on the planet. You know what I'm saying? Most intelligent people on the planet. Dunya said, of course, it's love always. I respect and love good brother Atiba, comrades for life. Definitely, definitely, definitely. And I'm always falling behind on these comments. I realize, you're responding to something I said a minute ago. But that's what's up. You see, while the governor interfered in shutting down the country, all these corporations monetized, increasing their asset wealth, becoming richer. We truly are living in a historic moment. Biden post Trump in Democrat fascism, neoliberalism, the pandemic, corporations in so-called Latin America 2022, record high amounts of people murdered at the hands of the pigs. Very insightful. Very insightful. Very insightful. You just said true, bro. At first, I thought you was responding to Daniel's comment because they was very on point, but you said true, bro. So I'm guessing you responded to something I said. So I don't know what I said. It was true, but I agree. Whatever I said, it was definitely true. See, Danya said, my chickens give me organic eggs, laugh all loud, but food in stores is all modified. Damn right. Damn right. Definitely. Definitely. And be on the lookout, because one thing that we're going to be doing, sponsored by Lava, is like, one thing that I do is I'm a urban gardener. I do a lot of different things, but gardening is something I do. I'm like a Mississippi boy, so like just doing things outside is something that I'm passionate about. So we're negotiating with individuals and landowners about creating our community gardens and having programs where we teach people about agriculture and have, rites of passage programs and all type of different things. I might probably talking about things, before I'm supposed to talk about them. But, since we're on the whole concept of growing your own food, that's one of the projects that we're getting ready to do, like right now, getting prepared, for March, so we can be ready to run as soon as spring hits, the growing season, because we really have to get back to producing our own food. One, that's a cornerstone of nation building. You need to be able to feed your people, point blank, period. But the point you're going to get a nation for and then you starve to death, that don't work. So we have to get into the practice of producing our own food, being able to do for itself. And I mean, yeah, definitely. Andrea, laugh on live, laugh out loud. I thought all Walgreens sold liquor and cigars. I guess you live in the hood. No, but interesting thing, because so it's like I'm gonna use Memphis, Tennessee, because that's where I'm at. I formerly known as Memphis, Tennessee, out of Beware City. But in the inner city, well, a few years ago, I was at this community meeting, and they were discussing trying to stop this corporation from building like a landfill, one of them dumping grounds, right next to an elementary school, some yards away from an elementary school. We actually had to go to a meeting and try to shut them down from doing these type of things. It was in Fraser, Tennessee, Fraser, that's part of Memphis, one of the roughest hoods you ever want to go to. I used to live there also. But yeah, they were trying to put dumping ground next to an elementary school. Now, the reason I bring that up is because they're like little suburbs in Memphis, like one Germantown, Cordova. These places, that's what people be running to try to get away from the inner city. But if you go to Cordova, you'll notice like everything looks different. Like when you look at McDonald's, they don't have the big golden arches. They don't even have no golden arches. They don't even have the same color as regular McDonald's. That's because there's an ordinance that says every sign has to be a certain size and it has to go with a certain color palette that matches the aesthetic of the community. So what I'm saying is basically in Cordova and in Germantown, you can't even own a restaurant with a sign that is too big. You can't do it. But in Fraser, where all the black people are, where the poor black people are, they can create a landfill, a dumping ground right next to a school. Ain't that some shit? Like that in one community where you got the rich white folks that you can't even have a sign too big, but in the other community where the poor black people are, you can have chemical dumping grounds right next to a playground where little children frequent. I mean, little elementary school. It's capitalism for it. Capitalism plus white supremacy. That's what we're dealing with, y'all. Freedom Power, how you doing? Thank you for checking in, getting on the show last night. Came and you asked me very excellent question, a very important question last night on George Jackson University Radio. So, man, thank you with that, Freedom Power. Like I said, once Freedom Power get on, I know this show about to turn up. Let me see, 50, 60, 70-year-olds, 70-year-ago, the hybrids, GMO, preservative, pesticides, etc., that partly explain why our parents and grandparents lived so long. Prior to that, Africans lived very long and vibrant lives. Colonialism and capitalism destroyed that extremely. And another thing about that, that's an interesting thing, because you ever heard of this disease, and I know you have, called sickle cell anemia? Sickle cell. Did you know when our ancestors were in Africa, that disease didn't exist? We didn't get it. And that's a disease that is strictly discriminatory. It strictly targets us. We the people who deal with it, black people in America. But when we were in Africa, we didn't get it at all. The reason why this disease developed is because when we came to America, our diet changed. And our diet does not respond, our bodies do not respond well to the American diet. And sickle cell, boom, emerged within us. A whole disease came into existence based on this BS diet that we got going on here in America. So thank you, brother Freedom Power. You see, Andrea said, let me know how that project works out. I have land that is just there. Damn, where you live at again? Because see, that's one thing we always look for. Land that nobody's doing anything with, so we can become productive with it. You know what I'm saying? You know, because one thing we have to do is we have to connect uh, the resources with the people who willing to do something with it. Because there's a lot of people who got resources that's just sitting there nothing doing nothing with it, just sitting there. And then you got people who got hearts of goals and got the work ethic and ready to put in that work, but they don't have the resources. So we got to connect the dots. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up. You know, you're saying, oh, Roswell, New Mexico. You seen any elegance down there? I'm messing with you. I'm just playing. But definitely, man. I mean, I wish I was out there. We'd sure do something with it. We would surely do something with it. Let me see. Even the meals, including fish, were okay to eat before capitalism. Oh, you're right. You're right about that. I mean, hold on a second. What? Oh no, man, I got nothing like that, bro. I'm busy. But anyway, um, I'm back, y'all. Sorry about that. But so yeah, definitely we have to connect the resources with the people. And we're talking about how this American diet, this low quality food that's been processed to death, which under the system of capitalism, they've added all type of things to it, which make it terrible, horrible, which is leading to epidemic, explosion of the cancer, diabetes, hypertension, high blood pressure, which causes you to go to the doctor and the doctor give you some pills that will create side effects that you got to go back to the doctors and they give you some more pills to give you more side effects and you got to go back to the doctors and before you know it you got a bag full of pills that you got to take every day and you don't even know what the original illness is that you got to take the first pill for. You just got a whole bunch of pills dealing with side effects from other pills, and all of these pills that you've taken compromise your body and your poor little kidneys get blown out, and now you gotta be on dialysis for three times a week. If you know that you look in at our community, man, you have dialysis centers popping up everywhere because hey, dialysis is a big business now. Man, and Drib, like I have about 12 prescriptions. It's ridiculous. It is. It is. I mean, the best that I can say is really really focus on cleaning up your diet. Like seriously focus on cleaning up your diet so you can slowly try to bring your body back to its natural state, because your natural state is health. But not only, but I mean, don't get it twisted. Your diet is not the only thing that affects your health. It's not the only thing that affects your health. It's not. It's a lot of things that affect our health, from our stress level. That has a major effect on our health. Our environment, like I told you, they was trying to put a dumping ground near elementary school in Fraser. Our communities have been viciously attacked by environmental racism. I mean, you know about Jackson, Mississippi, water filled with lead. You know about in Detroit. I think that was Detroit, right? Or Flint, Michigan, lead. But these type of things go on everywhere, all through America in the inner cities. You see corporations dumping chemicals in their nuclear waste products in Black communities, Black and brown communities, because our communities are vulnerable. And capitalism is a predatory system. It's crazy. So like your environment plays a major role in your health. It's not just your diet, you know what I'm saying? Stress level, your environment, all of the toxins in the air that you breathe in. Um, your genetics. Your genetics play a part in your health. That's true. You can't get around with that. That's scientific. Some people are genetically prone, more prone to get certain diseases than others. That's for real. Like I said, you have to be objective in everything you do. So, I mean, I wish it was just a matter of, hey, clean up your diet and clean up your environment and get rid of stress and you'll be fine, you know. But genetics play a part of it too. Now, it does not have to be the determining factor. That doesn't mean just because cancer runs in your family, you got to have it. That just means that you have to be a little more careful. You really need to be focused on, you know, taking care of yourself. If these are the situation, this is the situation. You know, your 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 weight is a major factor. The obesity level, and you know, we're just gonna be real with it, y'all. We gonna take, you know, we're just gonna be truthful. America, we got too many overweight people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying, like, if you know, you heavy set or overweight or whatever the case is, you know what I'm saying? That don't mean I love you, looking down on you, or anything like that. No, I'm not. But um, and especially in America, because the American diet will make you overweight. It make us, you know what I'm saying? It's designed to make you fat. But that's something we ain't necessarily got to be. And when I say overweight, I'm also talking about unhealthy. Because you know, some people are just, you know, more genetically prone to be heavier. Some people got like a big frame, a heavier frame on them. You know, they call them big boned. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? But these, you know, that affects your health in a very negative way. And these are something that we have more control over. You know, you don't have as much control over how toxic the environment that you're forced to live in. You know, you can do things to help it out, but some things you know, you don't have, you know, a lot of control over. But like, you know, your weight, your exercise, whether you getting enough exercise or not, them things we can control. You know, whether or not you getting enough rest. Again, things that we can control. All of these things factor into your health. So it's not just, you know, hey, I'm gonna be a vegan. And like I said, vegan, I never say I'm a vegan or anything like that, because that's a term that don't really mean anything. Just because you're a vegan don't mean you eating healthy, you know. A lot of vegan diets are some of the worst diets in the world, you know, honestly. But so you know, I just prefer to be healthy, you know. Um, my food choices would probably put me into the category as veganish, I guess. But I prefer to just be healthy and not necessarily give myself a label of this. Ro Jumbo, how you doing, brother? Man, it's good to see you back on the podcast. I got to see you in person again, comrade. I'm missing you. You know what I'm saying? I'm missing you. You wanna, you know, our strong warriors out there doing your thing in South Carolina. But it's good to hear from you again. What's the importance of teaching the children how to grow food? You asking me that question? Are you being sarcastic? Like, hey, what's the importance of? Because you know the importance of teaching our youth the importance of growing our own food. Because one, I mean, you can answer this question on different levels. Because first of all, in order to have a nation, we got to be self-sufficient. We got to be able to do for ourselves. We can't be dependent on our enemy to provide anything for us, because the enemy don't like us. The enemy don't want us independent. The enemy wants us to be dependent on them so they can continue the exploitation of us. That's what they want. But So that's one reason, because we have to learn to be self-sufficient. We have to learn to how to produce food for ourselves. The other reason, also obvious, is that the food that we buy in the store is so contaminated. It's so filled with pesticides and all these things that is killing us. We got to teach our children how to grow food so we can teach them how to survive. Period. Because this, in this capitalist system, it breeds death, destruction, and exploitation. So, man, yeah, I mean, I hope I answered your question, but I got a feeling you already knew that. You know what I'm saying? Being who you are. Um, I appreciate you letting people know that we doing this too. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. I was asking for the people. Yes, miss you too, General. I appreciate you calling me General and stuff like that. But we ain't got to do that. We all form a family in here. We can be all formal. But yeah, bro, we gotta get back together, man. I was telling the people we're about to start our community garden program back up here in Ida B. Wells, and we planning on doing it real big. Not only just having it as a place to grow food, but a place to educate people on the importance of having land, the importance of growing your own food, and have classrooms about classes in classrooms about agriculture and all of that type of stuff. And Adunya, I mean not Adunya, but I think Andrea, you asked me to keep you informed on that project, and I definitely will. But yeah, man, interesting story. And I go back because I was talking about like we gotta control our health, we gotta control our diets, we gotta control what we eat, we gotta control our weight, we have to exercise. Very important. Very important because too many of us are a little too heavy. You know what I'm saying? I'm being real nice, about that. But yeah, we got too many people who, just a little heavier. And one thing, especially with Black people and Black women in general, and I might be about to get myself in trouble on this one, so let me tread lightly, cautionately. But like we have this thing with Black men especially. We love us a thick woman. Love us some thick woman. Love us some big booty woman. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that line between being thick and being overweight gets blurred. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it may be a woman overweight, but we still, we like, she thick, and a lot of men, like over, healthier, well, healthy, definitely not the word that I should use, plus size women. And ain't nothing wrong with that because they're all beautiful, hey, y'all all beautiful. But like I said, I'm really advocating being healthy. That's really what I'm talking about. Because a lot of us are a certain size, but we're unhealthy with it. It's one thing to be, chubby or big bone or whatever you want to call it and be healthy. There's a lot of women like that. I know a lot of women like that. But I'm talking about being overweight and being unhealthy. And a lot, I think some of that got to do with the fact that we so fascinated with the thick girl. Man, you got to be so thick, man. Ooh, look at her. And I say that because, I know this sister. Well, I know this sister. She weighed well over 300 pounds. Well over 300 pounds. She a big girl. You know what I'm saying? Sweet as she want to be. Beautiful queen. Beautiful queen. Don't get me wrong. But, she need to lose weight. She knows she need to lose weight. I might get myself in trouble. So everybody pretty much know me because I work out and I'm health conscious and all of these type of things. So a lot of times people come to me with advice on that. So I was asking them. She asked me. She was like, "Hey, what can I do to lose some weight? How can I lose weight?" So I was like, okay, I tell you what, this is what you do. And you can follow this advice because I think it's pretty solid advice. Take about a week before you change anything about your diet or anything. Just take about a whole week, get a folder, a notepad or something. And every time you eat something, every time you put something in your mouth, well, food. Anytime you put some food in your mouth, write it down. The time you did, where you were at, what you did, what you ate. Every time you did that, in about a week, you should have collected enough data to see a pattern. And you'll be like, oh man, dang, every day I get me, excuse me, a bag of potato chips from the snack machine. Every afternoon when I stop by the gas station to put gas in my car, I get me a cupcake or a donut. You'll begin to see all of these patterns, and you'll see why you really figure out why why you need to lose weight, because you're doing all of this eating that you weren't even aware that you were doing. So I was like, okay, once you figured that out, once you look at that, then just take one of those habits that you do that's unhealthy, that in the morning when you get those bag of chips, take just one of them and replace that unhealthy thing with a healthy thing. Instead of getting a bag of chips, I'm gonna get me a fruit. It's every day. Instead of doing that unhealthy thing, one thing, because a lot of times we try to do everything at once. And if you can do that, that's great. But most of us, you try to do everything at once and you're doing it good for a while, and then you fall apart and you end up in a worse situation than you started. And there's a reason for that. But you take that one thing and you change it, and you do that for a week to the point where, okay, you don't got in the habit of, instead of eating that potato chip, I'm gonna eat an apple or banana or whatever. Then the next week, you take another one of those bad habits and you change it into a good habit. And you just keep doing that. So slowly and gradually, you will start to change your eating habits. But it won't be like a shock to you because you did it in a gradual process. It's just like, how they tell you, the analogy of cooking a live frog. Put a frog in a pot and you put the heat on low and the frog just there, whatever. Then you slowly increase the heat and slowly increase it some more and slowly increase it some more, because it is slowly increasing. The frog really doesn't notice it. And before you know, the frog is cooked alive. He ain't even realize it. We usually use that analogy to explain how this system screws us over and we don't even really notice it. They just implement a change here, implement a policy here, and slowly things have changed and slowly changed. And before you know it, you wake up, you're like, damn, how the hell this happened? How the heck did this happen? From the 70s to the 90s, Black people were even further criminalized. Laws were slowly passed through the years that slowly increased the prison population with our people. Prisons slowly began to be privatized. And before you know it, you looked up like, damn, it's a mass incarceration thing going on right up under our nose. But they did it gradually, until Clinton came in, and then it was like, boom. But you can use that same principle to do something positive with. So, that's, but my whole thing is that's what I told this sister. She was now, I lost my point, but let me get back to my point. So yeah, like I said, this sister is 300 pounds, over 300 pounds, asked me for advice. And that's what I told her. That's the advice that I told her. And she had stopped me. She was like, hold on, I don't want to get too skinny. I was like, whoa, huh? Like Queen, you weigh over 300 pounds. Why are you worried about getting too skinny? You know what I'm saying? Let's worry about getting skinny first before you worry about getting too skinny. But the reason I even mention that is because Black people, we so fascinated with being thick, the thick woman and all this type of stuff. This sister who weighed 300 pounds, who got, a real deal task ahead of to lose, enough weight so she would be a healthy size, was actually worried about getting too skinny. And what's up, Erica? How you doing? Let me see what you got to say. Most of the foods we eat are heavily processed with sugar and carbs and all types of things our bodies don't need. I don't see how the FDA approves some of this. If you notice something about the FDA, Food and Drug Administration, you hear a lot of commercials about, did you take this drug? Did you take this pill and die? Did somebody take this pill and their head fell off or something? Well, you can call law offices of such and such, and you'll have a class action lawsuit. Join in while they're getting still good. You know what I'm saying? Every day, different drug companies are getting sued because their drug caused people to die or some kind of other serious injury. And all these drugs were approved by the FDA. All of them approved by the FDA. Like I said, you're under a system of capitalism. And capitalism don't give a damn if they putting out something that's harmful for the people. I mean, look how they did cigarettes. Look at cigarettes. They knew cigarettes was killing people for the longest, for a long time. But what did they do? They made as much money as they possibly could. As much money as they possibly could. And then when it was time for everything hit the fan and they was like, oh, okay, yeah. Well, I got a couple of dollars that they was already saving up for anyway. Most of these companies have a fund for when they get sued, they go to, I'm getting sued money. So I can just shell it out. Because they understand that the money that they have to pay is nothing compared to the money that they're making. Even though what they're doing, their product, the things that they are selling is devastating and it is killing the people. Point blank. Period. So yeah, you're absolutely right with that, Erica. Yeah, I hope that ain't the fact you said you was gonna bring up that you thought I wasn't gonna find out. I mean, you thought I wasn't gonna know, because yeah, I knew that. You gotta do a little better than that. But no, but it is a good point. It is a good point. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, in the words of our ancient ancestors, Imhotep, the great African from Kemet, the first recorded multi-genius. He said, let food be your medicine and let medicine be your food. Now, I know you probably heard that some Greek dude who they claim to be the father of medicine is the one said that. But you have to understand that European people have stole our history. And they try to claim everything for themselves, so they don't give proper credit where credit is due. But Imhotep said that plural, thousands of years before these Greek society even existed. So, yeah. But like they said, Imhotep said, let food be your medicine and let medicine be your food. Because, I mean, a healthy diet, your body, your body is one of the most complex, beautiful machines ever created. It has the ability to repair itself. But in order for it to repair itself, we got to get out of the way and allow it to repair itself. We can't keep on putting things in that's hurting it. We can't keep on traumatizing our bodies with the food that we eat. But anyway, I still got two people on. Who's still on with me? Who's still hung in there? Who's still hanging in? Let's see, I got two people still in. But anyway, I guess I'll get ready to go and get out of here. Like I said, thank y'all for y'all comments. Thank y'all for being so intelligent and so wise and so wonderful. And thank y'all for giving Atiba so much love. He appreciates that. And he will be back. He coming back, y'all. He coming back. Don't think that he just gone for good. The brother is definitely coming back. But I mean, it is imperative that we take control over the things that we can take control of. We're engaged in a protracted struggle. That means that it's over a long period of time. We ain't just gonna free the land and get our independence, all overnight. What we have to do is we have to do our best to create institutions that feed and nurture the people. And once we do that and update the blueprint to our liberation, we got to pass it on to the next generation. We got to make sure that the next generation is properly educated and capable of taking up the mantle. But we got to pass it on to the next generation and let them move it forward. And each generation moves the needle a little bit farther until we gain that ultimate goal of liberation. But right now, we have to control the things that are within our control. We have to educate ourselves. We see, all of the disease and everything that's going on, all of the health issues that our people suffer from. Well, we don't identify a problem just so we can talk about it. We identify a problem because so we can do something about it. And understanding, educating yourself about being healthy. That's the first step. Because knowledge is the foundation. But knowledge by itself is not power. Knowledge without application is simply information. So once we know better, we got to do better. Once you educate yourself, now we got to put that education into action. I'm not saying be the super duper clean plant-based eater overnight or whatever it is, but if we slowly just stop doing some of the terrible things that we consuming and just slowly replace them with something more healthy and positive. Because I mean, when it go down, revolution hit. What good are we if we're out of breath, out of shape? Police running out there, you can't even run down the block. You're out of breath. Holding these. hold up, hold up. Wait a minute. No, we got to be prepared. We got to be prepared, comrades. So we got to take our lives, serious. We got to be there for our children. We got to be there for the young ones. We're the ones that know. And if you know better, you got to do better. But anyway, family, I appreciate everybody for checking in again. Can't wait till Atiba come back. Been trying to hold it down, but I'm missing my comrade, But like I said, thank y'all. Tune in tomorrow at the Millie Queen show. Well, that's not the name of the show. It's called The Truth and Power Corner. I don't know what guest she's going to have on tomorrow, but make sure y'all check her out. She always has a great show. I always have great guests. Hopefully I get home in time and I'll be able to chop it up with her. Like I said, until next week, my name is Brother Ye-Ra, aka Prophecy. You're listening to and watching the Naba Network, and we got a lot of good things coming. Make sure you tune in to Millie Queen tomorrow. Sunday, tune in to the Voices of New Africa. Tuesday, tune in to what we got going on Tuesday. Now, Monday, tune in to New African Perspective. Tuesday, tune in to the Foundation of the Nation. That show was real good, y'all. Man, they talk about some things that, things that I don't even touch. I'll be like, I don't know if I even feel comfortable talking about that, Queen, but y'all doing it. And then next Thursday, we're back right here with Conversations Between Comrades. And You know, on one of these Thursdays, y'all gonna look up and my comrade gonna be back, and we're gonna be back acting a fool. But I appreciate y'all sticking with us, you know, until he get back. We love y'all. Make sure y'all be safe, take care of each other, actively engage in building up yourself so you can actively engage in building up your family. And y'all can collectively, actively engage in building up your community. And we can actively engage in building up our nation, which will automatically build up our race. My name is Brother Prophecy. For Conversation Between Comrades, free the land, y'all.
America, full of promises. Time to cash them in. You run from it quick. You never keep your word. I learned from it quick. You keep abusing me. You dumb.
Europeans murdered 98% of the indigenous population right here in Turtle Island in order to steal the land. An entire nation of African people were captured and forced into a brutal system of chattel slavery just so they could work and cultivate the land. All wars are fought over land. Not over terrorism, not over religion, not even to win the hearts and minds of the people, but for the actual land and the resources within the land. So it is safe to say that land is the foundation to all freedom. So if we truly want to be free,